Hello, this is my post speech one review video, whatever you want to call it. I have not watched any other speeches yet that we posted in the forum. I'm off tomorrow, so that is going to be my focus for most of the day, is doing all the homework for the classes that aren't already due. If that makes sense. Obviously, this is due today, so I'm doing it now. And for that reason, I'm going to just kind of go over a general uh, personal critique of what I was thinking. Sorry about that. What I was thinking as far as what areas I felt comfortable with, what I felt like I need to improve. Because this was kind of a weird situation for me. I'm usually very comfortable in a speaking position, a public position. I've always kind of felt like that. And I don't typically get nervous speaking to people, but for some reason I could tell that I was tense. Like I don't know, maybe it was because I was a formal situation. But yeah, it was just kind of a weird thing. So I just want to kind of like I'm looking at the rubric over here, and I kind of just want to go over some of the what we're going to be graded on, and where I feel I was good, and where I feel like I could use some work. Um, and maybe it could be helpful to y'all too. I don't know. So anyway, so as far as the main point and stuff like that, I mean, we went through all of the outlines and the revisions and stuff like that. So I felt like I was very confident with the topic that I chose and the points that I wanted to make and stuff like that. So I was pretty confident with that, um, as well as like the transitions in between and everything. I kind of had a little bit of fun with it, just to try and make it flow well and just kind of be like off the wall, a little maybe a little corny in a way. But regardless, I felt like I did that well. Some of the things that I felt I could do better on, I felt my posture was awkward. Like I knew I was standing up straight. I knew it was using gesticulations and, I mean, as you can see, I conduct an orchestra when I talk anyway. But I almost felt statuish. Like I felt like I needed to be behind a podium just to feel a little bit more comfortable. Because even though I knew what I wanted to do with my hands, the rest of my body felt weird. Like I didn't know if I needed to move around. The way I did the video, it was kind of a tight shot, so it was kind of hard. As well as where I was in my living room is like my only bare wall, without it being like awkward and like, hey, there's a TV in the background, kind of a thing. So it was kind of hard to in the particular space I was in. Um, I felt like my tone, my the loudness of my voice and everything was pretty good. Um, I felt like I kind of stuttered a little bit, which I don't typically do that, but I never did like the ums or the ohs or the things like that. Like I've always been able to kind of avoid that, but I did feel like I kind of was trying to stutter a little bit, which is kind of odd for me. But I think it was because I was trying to read and speak at the same time and keep it seamless. So it was kind of a little bit different because usually when I'm talking, it's kind of like off my head. So I know what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to say. So, because I do it for work a lot and stuff like that. So it was odd to read off in my way. I kind of did it on a teleprompter because I had my laptop right next to the camera, so you couldn't see what I was reading off of. Like I wasn't holding note cards, kind of a thing. Um, I will say my time felt weird too because I felt like I wasn't rambling. I cut out a lot of information to try and keep it under the 5 minute mark. I probably did the speech 5 or 6 times, and every single time I was like 7.5 minutes, 7 minutes, 6.5 minutes. Like I kept cutting it down and figuring out how I could say what I wanted to say while still streamlining it. And even then, I felt like I didn't have enough information and I could have talked for longer, but I knew I needed to be under the 5 minute mark. And I think my final time was like 5 minutes, 8 seconds or something like that, or 5:10 or right around there. So I could have even streamlined it a little bit more, but I wanted to make sure I had my pace right, and I felt like I got that pretty good. I wasn't going too fast; you couldn't understand, but I wasn't going so slow that I sounded like I was. So I don't know. I overall I felt like I did pretty good. I haven't looked at the grade yet, so I'm not speaking after the fact. I made sure that I haven't looked at it yet, so I can speak honestly, and try and be as critical as possible without being overly critical. Because of course, your number one critic is yourself. I live by that statement. That is like a philosophy for me. So, but yeah, I felt like it was a pretty good first round. I'm excited to listen to what y'all have to say and what I might be able to try and say that might help. Like I said, I've been doing this for like work and for school and stuff like that, outside of this school for quite a while, so I feel fairly confident. I just never took a formal class for it. So if anything that I can say that is truly helpful or whatever, then maybe I'd be willing to give advice or something like that. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great night.